Everyone warns you about pit bulls, Rottweilers, Dobermans. They're labeled dangerous, high risk, too much for the average owner. But you know what's strange? Almost no one warns you about the German Shepherd. The breed that's on police forces, military bases, search and rescue teams, and in millions of homes with kids, chaos, and no structure. And yet, this dog might be the most misunderstood of them all. Not because it's inherently dangerous, but because it's so much more than people are prepared for. You see the heroic canine on YouTube, the obedient dog walking perfectly beside its handler, the shepherd that tracks down criminals and protects soldiers in combat. And you think, that's the kind of dog I want. But what no one warns you about is the other German Shepherd, the one that shows up in your living room, not in uniform, but in overdrive. The one that isn't trained, focused, or calm. The one that looks at your commands and decides for itself whether you're worth listening to. Because this dog doesn't blindly follow. It studies you. It reads your voice, your posture, your energy. And if you're not grounded, clear, and confident, this dog doesn't wait. It takes control. Not out of aggression, but out of instinct. That's the German Shepherd they usually don't warn you about. The one that becomes the alpha in your absence. The one that fills the leadership vacuum you didn't even know you created. People adopt this breed thinking they're getting a loyal family companion. But loyalty in a German Shepherd isn't unconditional. It's earned. Through structure, through repetition, through presence. You can't just play fetch and cuddle on the couch and expect a stable shepherd. This is a working breed. It doesn't want to be pampered. It wants a mission. And if you don't give it one, it invents one. That's when the problems begin. You start seeing reactivity. The dog barks at sounds that didn't matter before. It becomes territorial, guarding hallways, doorways, furniture. It barks at your guests, growls when someone gets too close, snaps over a toy, gets possessive over you. And you think, where did this come from? It came from a lack of clarity, a vacuum of purpose, a life with no job, no outlet, and no direction. The German Shepherd wasn't bred to chill on the couch. It was bred to make decisions under stress, to act with confidence and speed when others hesitate. So when you bring that genetic intensity into a home without rules, structure, or boundaries, it doesn't relax, it doesn't decompress. It looks for something to do, and when there's nothing useful to do, it chooses chaos, and that's when it gets labeled aggressive. But most aggressive German Shepherds aren't truly aggressive. They're confused, overstimulated, underled. They're doing what they were bred to do, control the environment, because no one else is doing it. And they don't apologize for it. They escalate, they double down, and that's when the relationship begins to break. Here's what people won't post on Instagram. The owner crying because their dog growled at their child. The anxiety of not being able to have guests over. The fear of walking the dog in public. The guilt of wondering, did I ruin this dog? That's the version of German Shepherd ownership that's hidden. Not because it's rare, but because it's uncomfortable. But you need to see it because it's real. And it happens more than anyone wants to admit. But here's the truth that no one tells you. That same dog, the one pushing your limits, testing your patience, turning your life upside down, that dog is capable of becoming the most bonded, disciplined, trustworthy companion you've ever had. Not through dominance, not through force, but through consistent leadership, calm repetition, mental work, daily expectations, not training once a week, but living in structure every day. When you give the shepherd a job, real or simulated, it thrives. When you stop using treats as bribes and start using boundaries as clarity, it listens. When you stop reacting and start responding, it stabilizes. When you stop loving it like a baby and start leading it like a teammate, it finally exhales. And that's when the transformation begins. You don't fix a German Shepherd by yelling louder. You fix it by becoming someone it trusts more than its own instincts. Someone who doesn't flinch, doesn't collapse under pressure, doesn't let emotion run the household. This dog doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency, predictability, and above all, it needs a leader who shows up the same way every single day. That's what makes this breed powerful. Not just its teeth, not just its intelligence, but its ability to mirror you, to hold you accountable, to force you to become calm, strong, and clear. Because if you don't, it takes over. And once it does, you'll be chasing obedience when you could have had trust. You'll be managing problems when you could have been leading a partner. And you'll realize too late that no one warned you what this dog was really asking for from day one: clarity. So if you're thinking about getting a German Shepherd, don't just look at what it can do. Ask yourself who you're willing to become. Because this isn't a breed that fits into your lifestyle. It demands that your lifestyle fit into it. And if you get that part wrong, you won't just regret the decision. You'll live with a dog you no longer understand. But if you get it right, if you show up with purpose, structure, and calm authority, you'll unlock a level of loyalty, respect, and partnership that most people will never experience. Not because the dog was easy, but because you rose to meet what it needed. And that's the German Shepherd they don't warn you about. The one that changes your life, for better or for worse, depending entirely on who you choose to become. Don't stop here. Watch our next video. Why so many German Shepherd owners regret it. To see what happens when this challenge is underestimated, and how to avoid the same fate. It might be the most important video you watch all year.